I came home to find my elderly parents freezing outside while my in-laws partied inside like they owned the place, when my dad whispered, "Son, why can't we come in?" What happened next changed everything. The evening was marked by a steady downpour, slender, frigid drops piercing the stillness. I pulled my car to the curb a short distance away, my gaze fixed on the brightly lit windows of my residence, which glowed like a triumphant beacon of deceit. Sounds of merriment, chuckles, the faint ring of crystal, a booming musical beat, escaped into the damp air. And there, by the entrance gate, sat my father, visibly trembling. His worn hands clasped his knees, his eyes wide with a bewildered sorrow. As I neared him, completely soaked, he lifted his head. "Son," his voice quivered, "why won't they permit our entry?" That singular query, gentle and artless, yet steeped in anguish, seared through me with an agonizing intensity. For countless years, I had held the conviction that my life was meticulously ordered, a devoted spouse, supportive in-laws, and a home meticulously crafted brick by brick with every earned cent. After my mother's death, my father became my sole true kin. I had pledged to her on her final breath that he would never experience solitude. Thus, when my partner suggested he relocate into our dwelling, my immediate thought was, finally, someone who genuinely grasps the situation. Her parents, however, visited frequently, perhaps with undue regularity. They harbored strong opinions on every conceivable subject: the interior aesthetics of my home, my father's dietary regimen, my own demeanor. Their constant interjection, I mistakenly believed, stemmed from genuine concern. Yet, genuine concern, I would soon discover, is an emotion unburdened by conditions. The subtle transformations commenced discreetly. My father gradually ceased participating in our evening meals. He would frequently occupy a solitary position on the rear veranda, his gaze fixed absently on the garden. On one occasion, I inquired if circumstances were favorable. He offered a fragile smile and replied, "I perceive your wife's kin prefer the absence of the elderly." I dismissed his comment until the day I concluded my workday ahead of schedule. I distinctly heard merriment emanating from the living area, my partner, her parents, her cousins. Then, I heard the definitive click of my father's bedroom door closing. Moments later, her mother's voice resonated clearly through the corridor. At last, he understood the insinuation. "That man carries the scent of the tomb. Your husband is oblivious to it, but we are not." A profound hush followed. Then my spouse uttered something in a low tone that fractured my very core. "He'll soon be gone. I'll guarantee it." I vividly recall my stance outside that door, my hands clenched into fists, my heart throbbing. I refrained from confronting them that night. The urge was immense, truly. But an internal whisper counseled, "Exercise patience." From that evening forward, I assumed the role of an unseen presence within my own domicile. I offered polite smiles, nodded agreement, and consented readily. Yet, every utterance from them, every scornful glance, every slight directed at my father, I documented it all with precision. Covert listening devices in the communal living space, recording apparatus cleverly concealed as ornamental objects, every conversation meticulously transmitted to a secure digital repository. And while they were consumed by ridiculing the individual who had bestowed everything upon me, I began to subtly alter the foundational elements beneath their feet. The property, registered under my legal ownership, underwent a quiet refinancing process. I strategically transferred financial holdings, adjusted insurance beneficiaries, and established an irrevocable trust specifically for my father. Every monetary asset they had presumed would eventually become theirs was deftly rerouted. Then I observed. That specific night, the occasion of their gathering, they overstepped a boundary I had truly believed they would never dare to breach. My father contacted me, his voice trembling. "They informed me there's no available space for me this evening," he recounted. They stated the attendees would not feel at ease. He emitted a soft, mournful chuckle, devoid of genuine humor. It was the sound of profound despair. I departed my workplace without a single utterance. Upon reaching the residence, the entrance gate was locked. He was seated outside in the chill, while they reveled within, consuming beverages from my glassware, dining from my ceramic plates. And my wife danced unburdened across the polished expanse of flooring that I had personally installed for our envisioned future. It was then that my decision crystallized. It was unequivocally finished. I escorted my father to the car and drove him to a comfortable, prearranged hotel suite I had secured earlier in the week. "You will rest here tonight," I assured him. "By tomorrow, circumstances will fundamentally transform." He posed no questions regarding my statement. Perhaps, at some deep level, he already possessed the understanding. The subsequent dawn, I re-entered my dwelling. The lingering traces of the previous night's festivities permeated the air, an essence of self-importance blended with the aroma of spilled wine. My in-laws remained, half asleep on the sofas. My spouse looked up, visibly startled. "You've returned early," she murmured, her voice heavy with slumber. "Not returned," I calmly articulated. "Merely visiting." I carefully placed a folder on the table. Within these documents, I explained, are photographic evidence, recorded conversations, financial statements, irrefutable proof of their avarice, their emotional mistreatment, their cunning manipulation. Her father scoffed dismissively. "You imagine this will instill fear in us?" I offered a slight smile. "No, I anticipate the eviction notice affixed to the main entrance will." They laughed until my legal representative entered directly behind me. Then, the color drained from their complexions. The property was legally and undeniably mine. The trust one had meticulously ensured that both the estate itself and all its contents belonged exclusively to my father. They now had a mere 30 minutes to vacate the premises. When my wife grasped the full implications of this, her composure shattered. "You cannot execute this," she cried, her voice rising in desperation. "I can," I stated with unwavering resolve. "And it is already done." They scrambled in disarray, shouting, uttering curses. Her parents hastily packed, indiscriminately shoving jewelry into bags. My wife pleaded, shrieked, proffered promises of behavioral reform. But I did not raise my voice, nor did I move a single inch. I simply observed. When they finally departed, the ensuing silence was profound, utterly purifying. I contacted my father. "Return home," I instructed him. And upon his arrival, I extended the keys. He regarded me with confusion, tears welling in his eyes. "This is your dwelling, father," I affirmed. "It always was, and always will be." He attempted to speak, but his words became lodged in his throat. I observed the fading years of indignity, replaced by a quiet, profound sense of relief. If you like the story, please subscribe to my channel.